So, Mark, did you see that it's so hot in Las Vegas that they have to ask people to get off planes? They can't take off. 114 degrees the other day. It's hot in Vegas, and all of the locals are doing what we do. We're complaining about it.
This is all your fault, you know?
Why?
Because you were just saying last week how we haven't talked about the weather yet.
Well, the dog days of summer and all that, but Las Vegas locals, we all know we live in the desert, and yet we don't care. It's still too hot.
How many eggs have been cooked on rocks, though? That's the important question.
So happy Wednesday, everyone. And some interesting news coming out of Hoover Dam. They suddenly closed it a couple days ago. They didn't give any news about exactly what they have to do, but they say they need to do emergency repairs. So that means road access is closed. I say we blame it on the American flag. Is that what caused this?
Yeah, it's so heavy. I mean, it was bringing it up. Maybe more people were coming because of the flag up and the lights and all that was going on. And you would think that road repairs and things like that would be something that they plan out months or years in advance and that they would know it's coming. And this seems kind of like, oh, crap, something's cracking. Let's go fix it now. I'm sure everything will be okay. But it does kind of send up like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, it does seem very sudden, so I'm glad that they found it and they're doing whatever they have to do. But the dam is holding back less water than ever. We haven't had a story about this in a while, about the level of Lake Mead. And 4 years ago, it hit its all-time low, and then things were looking up for a while. But I guess the government has done some different things, and they've diverted water away. All that to say, it is now at 1,041 feet. I think that's just a foot above the all-time low, expected to keep going worse and worse and worse over the next few years.
We need a couple flooding of Las Vegas storms, fill it back up. No, it's sad to see that this is a problem. It doesn't seem like it's anything that's going to get corrected unless you guys just have some really heavy rainfall years. I don't even know if that would be enough. I mean, you're definitely using more water, and it's not even Las Vegas. It's everyone down the pipe in the system. They have to come up with something at some point. It's just a question of when. I don't know. Have you seen Jacob go out there lately and show like empty barrels and things that he finds from the dried up beds?
I think it needs to go down some more before we discover new stuff, because we kind of went up for a while, Mark, so we haven't exposed anything new in a while. They are projecting by June of 2029 that it'll be down to 1,009 feet. So, I forget what the level is. I think it's in the 900s somewhere where it becomes critical. But, not great going on at Lake Mead. Hoover Dam is closed. It's all over for us, Mark.
So in 2029, you're telling me we finally find Hoffa.
Yes, we just need it to go down a few more feet, and then all secrets of Las Vegas will be revealed. But let's talk about the Rebels. The Runnin' Rebels are for sale, I guess. That is the name of the game. Their coach had an interview, and he goes and he talks about basically the new system where you can get super donors to fund players and stuff like that. And he says, why go buy the A's when you could buy the Rebels for $10 to $12 million?
Yeah, it's funny that he had to come out and like kind of preface this or correct it in a way, because it was kind of tongue in cheek. And I mean, they've gotten away a bit from where people can just give money and say what they want from it. It has to actually be like an NIL deal. And now it has to go through a clearinghouse, and a lot of stuff's getting denied. So you can't just be like, all right, I want this guy, let's give him some money. In a way you can. And yes, there's still people that own businesses that are probably funneling money here to give them NIL deals. But it is true. Like, you need boosters to give money to make successful programs. I think to have a bare minimum decent basketball team, you need about $10 million these days, which is crazy to say, and it keeps going up. I think there's teams spending 25 or 30 million this year. You need people, and he's trying to get the word out. UNLV needs some love.
Yeah, we saw them. Remember last year we saw them with their starting quarterback leaving because there was no money there. So they clearly don't have the mega donors that some of the other schools do. And as you say, the school, first they laid into this and they started joking about it, putting it on social media, saying they were for sale, kind of leaning into the joke. And then later they had to clarify that they aren't really for sale. I'm sure they got some phone calls or something. But hey, they got UNLV athletics in the news, national news. How about that?
Yeah, they could have just been like, hey, you can be called whatever UNLV Running Rebels if you want to sponsor the team for $10 million a year. Could have gone that route. But it is true, these boosters are running things behind the scenes a lot more than ever before. It's just crazy how much power they do wield. So he's not far off saying you could buy this team.
Well, speaking of buying teams, let's talk about the A's, because there's been a couple of sales this week that are pretty notable, selling small slices of the team in order to fund the construction of the stadium. Starting with Mark Cuban, he has a group of investors. They didn't say how much of the team he got or how much he spent, but he is now a co-owner of the Athletics. And then another group came in with Chan-ho Park, the first Korean to own a Major League Baseball team, the former Major League Baseball player. So that's a cool thing. But buried in that investor group is Ken Jeong, famous for The Hangover.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything more Vegas than that? I think that's awesome that he's a part of this. And it is interesting to see that they just sell off these bits and pieces. We've seen it with the Raiders. Now we see it with the A's. And it used to be back in the day, I know they were worth a lot less, but it was just like one family owned them for years and years. So everybody's getting a little bit more piece of the pie, and they probably need the funds to finish some of the ballpark and things like that, or just more money in the arsenal. But Mark Cuban, love him or hate him, I think he was at least an invested owner. Hopefully he's the same with the A's. I think that's the big negative with the current owner, is that he doesn't really care that much, and they run it into the ground a little bit. So maybe him being involved in whatever way he will be, or maybe he won't be, is something good for the city.
And Chan-ho Park is going to become an advisor to John Fisher too. So it is cool to see all of these people becoming part of the franchise. And this is a thing a lot of people were telling the naysayers. This is a valuable franchise. They're going to be able to sell pieces of the pie. It does seem like that. But I am holding my breath for a Hangover A's crossover. We need to see Ken Jeong do some cool stuff out on the field.
I hope he comes out and throws the first pitch of the opener as like Leslie and and all dressed up the same.
If you like what we do here, we also have another channel covering travel rewards, showing you how to save on Vegas and elsewhere. We've been doing this for years. Check it out, Miles to Memories Travel. We do 2 shows a week over there. We'd love to have you join us. But let's talk Hard Rock, Mark. A couple of videos. Carrie Balicki had one, and then somebody tagged us on X. I won't say the username of that person, but the lights are testing. We had seen a little bit of testing before in the last few months, but these seem more robust and kind of gives us a little glimpse of what it'll all look like.
Well, I mean, we see like one line, right?
Well, you can just multiply that in your mind, and you can see.
Well,
it's not like
there's a lot more to it.
We don't know what the one in Florida looks like. We do.
It looks like the start, like on the old computers where it's like loading, the loading screen. That's what it kind of looks like going across. But no, it's good to see them testing it. And I think it's going to go vertical and horizontal, just like in Florida. So it'll be cool when it's all in there. But this is the next step. We're getting closer, which is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, this is the age of 2026 where we nerd out over every little thing that's happening. And this is a big thing, though, because this will change the Strip. And anybody who's been in the last couple of years, yes, the Guitar Tower, you can see it from everywhere, but you're going to be able to see that light show from everywhere, too.
Unless you're in the Guitar Tower.
That's Mark's biggest complaint. He's upset about that, is that he won't be able to see it from the Guitar Tower. But hey, you might have one of those cool balconies, and those views will be unmatched.
Yeah, I think the views on both sides will be great, but definitely the one looking back down the Strip, I don't think any view in Vegas will match it.
Well, what about this view, Mark, from 1991? I saw this on Facebook, and it is a view from the Mirage looking towards the volcano. And I don't know, I really like this angle to kind of see the Strip and everything else, and just a reminder of how much it changed. So which view is better?
I mean, the guy with the camcorder in 2000 or whatever that we did a couple episodes ago, much better camera work. This could have just been a picture. He just sits there and stares at the same thing for most of the video. But it is cool to get a look back, and you're making a whole bunch of grown men cry over that volcano.
Honest thing, you just said that. I film a lot of videos, and how many of us have taken a video where you're like, that should have been a picture?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Golden Gate, the oldest hotel in Las Vegas, and they have this room, number 328, and they put out this video of it. I didn't know about this room, or at least I don't remember talking about it if we ever had. And it's by special request only, so they will not just randomly give you this room, thankfully, but it only has a twin bed, and it is the coziest room in all of downtown Las Vegas.
I mean, it looks like a hostel. It's cool to know about. It's kind of interesting to see, but I don't think that there's many people that want to stay there. I guess maybe now they'll say, oh, you know, I want to put this on social media or whatever, and it's kind of fun and something different. But why not list it and just put it out there for like $10 a night or $15? That's all it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, are they downgrading us? If I request this room, I still got to pay the rate for the better room, and then I get downgraded here. Of course, a lot of the older rooms at Golden Gate are very loud. We've talked about that before. And you're right, it does look a little bit like a hostel, but that's sort of all in the, I don't know, the realm of that property. But also the room looks decent. I think it could be fine, and location's pretty good.
Yeah, but if you price it right, somebody will book it.
So yeah, let us know if you guys have ever stayed in that room. Is the lonely room on Fremont Street. It's like an inside cabin on a cruise ship.
You know C-Note's been in there with his backpack full of beer.
All right, so let's talk Boxabl. Boxabl is that company that is making tiny homes all around the country, all around the world. We talked maybe 2, 3 months ago about a new tiny home community for the east side of Las Vegas that's coming, and those houses are Boxabl. But Boxabl is actually based in North Las Vegas, so it's a local story, and they were just listed on the NASDAQ. So tiny homes coming to the world, all manufactured in Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is really fun, and we've been seeing the tiny home craze go on for several years now. I mean, some are even on wheels; they move them around and everything like that, trailer them up. So this is kind of fun that they come boxed up. They just drop it and it's ready to go for the most part. You hook it up to your electrical and your water and all that stuff. And I think that this will be really fun to watch them grow. I think it will expand. I don't think that this is a fad that's going away anytime soon because younger people need housing and it's getting quite expensive, and maybe this is a way that they can work around it. I don't know. I'm going to kick the tires on this stock.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on tiny homes, but I have seen a lot of Boxabl stuff, including the story that we covered. And I do tend to like their designs. I think they look pretty good compared to some other stuff. They have only made 806 casitas, but only delivered 318 of them in 10 states. So this is still a relatively new company, but listed on the NASDAQ now. And they are losing millions of dollars. So, this is 2026. This is sort of how this stuff works. But hey, it's good that it's all here in Vegas. Good for the economy. Another business other than gaming. And we'll see how their neighborhood turns out. It's right down the street from their warehouse. So that should be easy for them to pull off.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see what that looks like when it's all said and done. And hey, stock isn't based on making money these days. Nobody cares about profit.
In a second, we're going to talk about the most honest gambler in America, certainly the most honest gambling influencer. But before we do, I'd love to invite you to subscribe. Thousands of you are watching. You're not subscribed. Help us reach more people. Hype up the video too. Thanks in advance. But let's talk Bill Krackomberger on gamblers. I love Bill. We've had a meal with him. He's as real in person. He's the same in person as he is on all his videos. So if you've never met him, world-class gambler, known, and he's in the influencer space too, but also radio host, all this sort of stuff. So he's more mainstream as well. But he had this video, and it's just like a 1-minute clip, and he says a couple things.
If you had to eliminate gamblers that had debt, put locks on the doors.
And then he says, I don't recommend it for anyone. If you want to do it for a hobby. And this is good advice. And in the age of like the expansion of casino influencers, gaming influencers, we need more Bill Krackombergers.
Yeah, and I think that's the key there is like set your budget and know what that is. And if that's what you would have normally spent for entertainment, whether going to the bar, out to eat, going to movies, whatever it is, just set that and stick by it. And the problem is so many people don't, and they go into debt, and we see those sad stories all the time. So I think this is great advice that if you look at it as just entertainment, expect to lose all the money, expect to spend all the money. That's great. If you think that you're going to go in there and make money, that's not going to happen. Like I just watched a clip from, and I should have put this in the show notes, but from Charles Barkley talking about gambling on a podcast. And he said, I've won $1 million in a night at the casino like 6 or 7 times, but I've lost that much at least 25 times. So, there's big swings. When you win, it's going to go back at some point.
I think Bill just proves that you can be a gambler, right? Be in the influencer space or whatever you want to call what he's doing, and more mainstream media, I would say, than influencer space, but be in this whole arena and still tell the truth. And I think that's good. We need more of that as this is pervasive, but also I just love people who keep it real, and he definitely does that.
Yeah, and he was the first one to say that he was a loser for many, many years before he really figured his way through all of this. And not many people are able to do that. Not many people are able to make a living off of it. Most people start out and finish the exact way that he was in the beginning. So just if you go in eyes wide open, knowing that that's going to be the case, I think you're better off.
So we have another new casino to talk about, Mark. I have not gotten over there, and I hopefully will be able to do more expansive coverage in the next couple of weeks. But Club Fortune North has opened. That is the Poker Palace. We talked about it when it closed, the mom and pop ownership history of this place. And there is also a Club Fortune South, way south on Boulder Highway, almost to Boulder City. Most people have probably never heard of it, but they got rid of all the Poker Palace theming. They renovated the building, and they put a very modern casino on the inside that looks very nice from the videos. Vital Vegas was there. I saw John Mahaffey post some pictures as well, and it looks very nice. A challenged area, but a good product, I think.
Man, every time you bring up my beloved Boulder City, anything near it must be good because it's such a great place. But No, they did a fantastic job on this. It looks really nice inside. It seems like they have some really good deals for food. And then I think Vital Vegas said that they have $100 up to $100 lost back deal going on with their players club. So that's kind of a fun way to get you in the door. And I don't know if that's just a one-time thing or what. He didn't really seem to go into it, but that could be a reason to go check this place out. And it looks like they did good work inside.
Yeah, that special is good. We don't have more information on it, but hopefully people go in there, check it out, get your losses back. But he also said there was no ATM fees, which I've never heard of anything. So this has to tell me it has to be a promotion. What casino doesn't charge ATM fees?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. And notice how Sean said, "Get your losses back." He doesn't think you're going to win when you go in there. Nobody. Back to Bill Krackomberger. There you go.
Well, let's close with this. We talked about The Hangover earlier, Mark, and The Hangover coming to Vegas in another form pretty soon. The Mike Tyson Experience, specifically Iron Mike Legacy, the Mike Tyson Immersive Experience. That is the full name of what is coming to Flamingo, Las Vegas. So let's start with this. It's going in the old buffet space, and we saw video of them demoing it this week. So any hope of that coming back is gone.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I figured they'd do something. It's such a massive space. I figured they'd do a restaurant type of thing, but we've seen them refresh so many restaurants in Flamingo already, and a couple of them are struggling. So I guess it does kind of make sense that they would go away from it, but they took Carlos and Charlie's out, never replaced that with any dining. So I figured maybe this would be the place that they would do some more dining.
They've already announced ticket prices. It's going to open in the fall of 2026. Take note, Top Gun. They can open it pretty quickly here, but the cheapest tickets for an afternoon ticket, $59, $99 anytime tickets, $129 VIP tickets. So $59 is the cheapest you're going to do here. They say that they are going to have AR, VR, holograms, projection mapping, and spatial audio as you go through Mike Tyson's life and, boxing simulators and very high tech. This is a large space. This is actually cool because you think about how many spaces could handle this. And then you think about how many spaces that are so high trafficked with so many people going by them. And I don't know what this is going to look like. The website makes it look very impressive. And I think this could be a winner of a venue. Mike Tyson is very much tied to Las Vegas.
He is for sure. I just wonder, is that a big enough name? Is boxing big enough? I think this will be a fun, interactive experience, but it's kind of like the Evel Knievel Museum. Like Mike Tyson in the 90s, huge name. Now, maybe not so much. I mean, everybody loves him in The Hangover and all that, but it's kind of a weird time. Boxing is maybe smaller than it's ever been. But I do think that this is kind of intriguing. I think it'll be fun. And if they pull it off and they do it right, I think it'll be worth it. I just don't know that you go back more than once. Like, is there a repeat opportunity here for people? So it could be, maybe it's a shorter term thing. I don't know, but it's fun to see that Vegas is back onto their new thing. Once somebody does something, everybody does it. Now is a hologram the next thing for Vegas?
Yeah, bring at least Mike Tyson's still alive, so I guess it's not weird in that way. This guy has made millions, lost millions. I mean, what a story of a life here. And Vegas was tied to all of his big fights. Of course, the Holyfield Tyson fights were as iconic as anything. So I think that we're talking Evel Knievel. I think Mike Tyson is several levels above that in the zeitgeist. Plus, you add in The Hangover and, those crazy scenes and just being around. I don't know.
Don't forget the game. Mike Tyson's knockout.
That's true. Like all of us grew up on Nintendo playing that and, learning the patterns so that you could beat Iron Mike. And if he ever hit you, you were done. So yeah, he's been a part of our life since we were kids, Mark. And that's why this is important. I will say that this is experiential culture, run amok, right? This is what we're seeing in Vegas, but they are talking about building these Mike Tyson experiences everywhere, saying this will be their flagship. We just saw the Museum Ice Cream open up their flagship here. So maybe Vegas becomes the flagship experiential location while you open up smaller venues elsewhere.
Yeah, hopefully it does really well and they're able to expand that. And I think that's exactly why people will want to try this out, at least in our generation, maybe in like the 30 to 60 age range. They'll want to live that Mike Tyson's video game, like, juking and jiving and trying to knock him out.
Yeah, if they got the hologram, can you imagine if you could box holographic Mike Tyson? Oh, just like that, bring in, I don't know. So let us know, is this whole experiential thing, is it gone too far? Are you excited for this? What other celebrities can we put in holographic form and bring them? I don't know, but this is a big venue. I think that is the more exciting thing about this. This venue's been sitting empty forever. We've all walked by it as you walk off Link Promenade. This is a little unrelated, but same area. The Magician's Room, I heard that there may be closing, that they're struggling there at Link. So just having people isn't always going to be a success, and we will see how this goes. But the Magician's Room, if you haven't gone there, you should go.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the disco room and how cool that place was, and it kind of went away, and now we're seeing this. So support the smaller, kind of unique things in Vegas that don't get the love that they probably should.
Here's a question, and everybody can leave a comment. What is a thing in Vegas that came and went and you never got to experience it? There's got to be so much. You blink and some of this stuff is gone. But let us know about that, about Bill Krackomberger and what he says about gamblers. Is that the truth? Are you happy to see him doing that? A's selling off all the pieces of the pie, and the Hard Rock testing their lights. What do you think? Leave a comment. We do a couple shows a week, and we will be back in a few days with another show. Thank you so much for watching. Check us out on our other channel as well. Talk to you next time.
Yeah, and in response to your Top Gun shade, perfection takes time. Have a good week, everybody.